Page 45, Oh Susanna, very well-known melody here by Stephen Foster. Here being the United States, yeah. On page 44, they're showing you what the primary chords are for the key of D major. So let's review primary chords. Remember the chords, we're talking triads here. Let's go to C major. C major, remember nothing, just here, triads. Whatever, I'd go down. I don't care which direction you go, just go. And each note or each step in a scale is numbered. And it also has a name. I think for right now, we're just dealing with the numbers, just one thing at a time. They're numbered 1 through 7. And the first one, that's 1, note 1. Note 1 identifies the key. So C major, note 1 would be a C. In G major, note 1, first note, step 1, I could say, or degree. You call them notes, steps, degrees, whatever you, I don't know. But 1 is in G major, it's a G, and in D major, it would be a D. Step 1, okay. Back in C major, the 4 chord is built on step 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. A chord on that, every other note in the scale. So there. So it's also known as an F chord because in this position, every other note, the bottom note identifies what the chord is. That's an F. So it's an F chord. That's a C chord. It's an F chord. It's also a 4 chord in the key of C. And then a 5 chord is one more. And then we added the 7th to it. So we have a 5-7. So that's 5-7, or it is a G chord or a G7 chord. It's a G or G7 chord in any key. It's a G or G. It's a 5 chord or 5-7 chord in the key of C. Okay. It's a 1 chord in the key of G. Is this confusing or what? But it's a 5 chord in the key of C. Well, let's go to a D major here. So the 1 chord built on step 1, it's every other note in the scale. So it's there. That is a 1 chord or a D chord. The 4 chord, 1, 2, 3, 4. Every other note, it happens to be a G chord, doesn't it? But it's a 4 chord in the key of D major. It's a 5 chord in the key of C major. Is this fun or what? It says, let's just stick with D major, 4 chord. And then the 5 chord, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, every other note in the key. Don't forget the C sharp. So there, it's an A chord. If I had the 7th, I got to stay within the key, and D major has a G natural. So it is a 5 or 5-7 in the key of D major. Or it is an A or an A7 in any key. And so those are the primary keys for D major, and you'll get them a lot. They show the sort of the progression. You're here, and for the 4 chord here, we don't want to move around, so I'm going to put that on the bottom. So I just go to here. It's the same pattern as the other one. Here, 4 chord, I went up. Well, here I'm going up. Same thing. In G major, I went there. So the 1-4-1 type chords, 1-4-1. Well, D major, same difference. But the chord is actually here. I just put the D on the bottom. And then the 5 chord would be here, D major here, 5-7. I put the A on top here. I leave out that, I just go here. And again, you get there from 1 chord by going down a half step and use the top 2 notes in the key, in the position. So you find the 5-7s in this position in any key, same way. In C major, go down a half step and use the top 2 notes in the position. G major, go down a half step, top 2 notes. Well, in D major, same thing. Go down a half step and use the top 2 notes. They'll work the same way. You can figure out any key if you know. That way. Those are the primary key or chords in D major. We'll see them quite a bit. Now let's talk Susanna thingy. Look it over, it's a page long. It's actually quite a bit longer because of the repeat signs and all, but we'll talk about that later. Treble bass clef, 2 sharps in the key signature. This is in the key of D major, so go to my scale video on D major and do what I say to that in the beginner portion, 1 octave up and down. And remember, it's the trill exercise that will do you the most good. And 4/4 time signature, let's take it one hand at a time. Right hand, we have a pickup B. We're coming in on beat 4. 4 and 1. And I don't always point it out, but the other beats are someplace, and they're usually at the end. And you'll see the last measure has 3 counts in it. Yeah, but here. And then for 4. So we had to change hand positions, sort of. And we do it on the repeated note. Now the rhythm. 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Did the dotted rhythm? The dotted quarter note. It comes on beat 3. The quarter note takes up a whole count. The dot then comes on beat 4 because the quarter note takes up beat 3. And the dot is the same as an 8th note because it's half the quarter. So the dot comes on beat 4 and it takes up half a beat. So the 8th note has to come on the end of 4. 3 and 4 and. And that's the way that works. 1, 2, and 4. Relax. That's that. Let's go down to line 3. You're here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Your second finger's moving around a little bit. That's okay. We're just kind of coming to here. And then the last line's similar to what we've already had. Left hand. Well, it's got the chords. 1 chord. And then 2 measures later, it's a 1 chord again, but this time it's a broken. Because that first one was block. This is broken. And then 5/7 chord. See, there's all kinds of patterns for broken chords. These are some of them. That's fine. Line 3. Now this is a 4 chord here. See, it's so much easier when you recognize the chords and the names and all. It's because you don't have to stop and think, what are all these note names? Just play a 4 chord in the key of D major. So much for that. The second ending at the bottom. Here, you're here. During the rest to come down, and that is a D. You'll need to know that note, so memorize it. It's below 1 ledger line. 1 ledger line below bass is an E. And that's a D. 2 ledger lines below bass is a C, and you certainly know that one. So that's a D. Makes sense because it's in D major. We're ending on a 1 chord. We're ending on a D. Put the heads together, and most of it is just right hand. Now here, so forth. That's pretty much the left. That's pretty much putting them together. Then go back over and slowly get rid of the hesitations. Then I add the articulation. Connect it. Now staccato. Hold on that. It's the last measure of the first line. Hold on to that, but this is flexing at the wrist here. Then lift it. But these are not staccato. Now, third line, you get accents. Just playing a little louder. And so much for the articulation. Then the dynamics. MF at the beginning, that's the melody, moderately loud. Mezzo forte. This got to be soft in the background. So this is moderately heavy. This is light. Then in the third line down, you FF-PP. Well, the first time you're going to play it very loud. I don't know that you really need very loud with accents. In my opinion, very loud is fine. Just play it. And that's the melody. This is in the background. Now, it doesn't have to be very soft, but it has to be under the melody. Softer. And then when you repeat, repeat at the bottom to do the last 2 lines again. Now you can do melody very soft. And the left hand is very light. Oh, very, very super light. Remember when you're practicing the scales to try and do them sometimes very softly. How soft can you play a scale? Go as slow as you need to, it's not important, but how soft can you play a scale? How light can you play it? Because it's more difficult to play light than it is to play heavy. If you can get it to where you can play lightly in the scales, then when you get these things in the pieces, you just do it. Now once I have the dynamics in, I think about the speed. Allegro this is a happy piece. You could sing the words, how fast it's a happy piece. Now the endings, the repeat signs, you understand how all that works. At the end of the second line on the first ending, you repeat back to the beginning. But at the bottom on that repeat, you only go to the third line because there's a reverse repeat sign. So if you didn't have a reverse repeat sign on the third line, then when you repeat on the end, the bottom, you'd have to go all the way back to the top. Remember the natural accents? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. This is usually felt in 2. 2. You usually feel this in 2. Yeah, whatever. Let's play it together very slowly and check the notes and the rhythms. I'm not doing the dynamics. I'm not doing louds and softs because we're not performing it. Just the notes and the rhythms, and I'll do the staccatos and we will do the repeats. So I'll give us 3 counts. 1, ready, and go, and 4, 3, and 4, and 4, and 4. Repeat. 4, 3, and 4. 3 and 4. And 4. Second ending. Rest. 2, 4. Rest. And 4. Repeat. 2, 4. Rest. And 4. Second ending. Rest. Rest. Off. Something.